Yesterday we got this brand new washer delivered from Home Depot. This is the washer that has a major leak. It's so expensive to repair, it really needs to be replaced, and that's what we did, we replaced it. However, we can no longer get it out of this laundry room, and the reason being, in 2019, this new water heater was installed. The previous one was a 50-gallon, I think, and this one's a 50-gallon. It's up against this pipe, so it can't go straight that way. But here's a 2x4, and 3.5 inches thick. So there is 3.5 inches between where it's sitting there and this wall, and another inch or so here, but that's not going to be very helpful. It's going to have to be moved several inches this way towards this wall, maybe touching this wall. And then in 2017, our air conditioner went out, and we had a new outside air conditioner, but they also put in this new air handler. Now, there is a 7-inch space between these two ducts, so in theory they should be able to move this unit back a couple inches. But anyway, there's a lot of unknowns. I try to draw some lines on the floor where I think it's in conflict, like the 27-inch line. So anyway, the Home Depot movers tried moving in both directions. This is 27 inches this way and 30 inches from the end here to the front here. They tried lifting it both ways, and they couldn't get it out either way. One way was running into this water heater. Actually, after they left, I tried doing the same thing. That's where I scraped up into this water heater. I just couldn't get any further. And even so, you know, what they were trying to do was to bring the 30-inch width through this space, and so they could take the 27-inch width out through here. Well, there's not 27 inches in this direction. So it's how much these pipes stick out, plus pretty close to where that white line is, so they would have to move it several inches back, which there is space to do it. I'm just not sure what's involved in that. So to help this whole process, I bought some boxes from the UPS store. It's about 27 inches this direction. Actually, it's closer, it's almost 28, and it's 30 inches this direction. So if you're going to move a 27-inch piece out through here, you can't just move it, you know, if you move this back and over a few inches, you still might not get out of the laundry room with that device, and then the other one's approximately the same size. So I can recall one time that I sort of wiggle it around this corner by myself, you know, the 27-inch width, and get past that unit. And then I, of course, hit the water heater, and again, I'm not sure how much the water heater can be moved, but it looks like a lot had to be moved to get it out of the way. Potentially both of these might need to be moved. This one moved back, and this one moved to the left and back. But I used this box to visualize how it has to get past. So to do a straight 27-inch straight out the door, there's too many things in the way here, pipes as well as the unit itself. So a lesson for the future: when water heaters and air conditioners are replaced, you have to be mindful what has to come in and out. when the workers start planting things here and not really thinking ahead of the consequences, because now we have the consequences for both of these. This is the old broken washer that was stuck inside the laundry room. I had a HVAC person come out to look at his unit, and even though there's a 7-inch space behind there, he said there's really not enough space to manipulate. He tried to push these pipes a little closer to the wall, but it's simply larger than it was than the one it replaced. The outside unit is definitely a lot larger, and this one is also larger, which decreases the space when trying to pass by with the washer and dryer. I showed him the box I constructed to sort of assess the situation, and the box sort of went about 2 inches over the top of this water heater, and I showed him that, and then a couple hours later the plumber came to look at this water heater positioned, and I told him, so the HVAC guy had the idea of moving this pipe. This pipe originally went straight down and then joined with this white section on the bottom. I painted it white. So anyway, it's a black pipe. All these are black pipes, and they've been replaced with PVC pipes, so these black pipes are no longer commonly available. So it's a certain size to match up. So anyway, what the HVAC guy said, look, you know, if you come out here with a 45-degree angle, and then come down here with a 45-degree angle, this can be then joined to the original pipe. And then, because these pipes are out of the way and no longer pressed against the side of the water heater, there's enough space to move the water heater closer to the wall, and indeed it is. It's about 4 inches closer to this back wall, with maybe only 1 inch to spare between touching the wall. It's not touching this, and that way you gain 4 inches of space to pass by with the new washer-dryer unit. My idea had been to move it closer to the wall and to move it this direction more. What the HVAC guy told me was, inside this cabinet is a motor unit, and if there's a malfunction of it and it needs to be replaced, it has to be slid straight out from the unit, and if this water heater is closer to the unit, that could make it so you can't get the motor out. And then you have a bigger problem, or you have the same problem with the water heater you just moved. So anyway, the water heater person then came a couple hours later. I showed him the situation, and I told him of the idea that the HVAC guy had, and he says, you know, we could do that. And he called up one of his associates to find out if they have some of this remaining black pipe. He was not happy about the fact that I painted it white, because he had to clean off the paint in order to make the joint here and here, because you can't glue paint, which is how the connections usually happen. So anyway, he resoldered. He cut off 4 inches of pipe and resoldered this on the incoming and the outgoing water, and then he was able. And then he ran all the water out of the water heater through there into the bathtub, and you know, we had the water shut off, had the drainage cut off, so nothing could really be used. But it took him less than 2 hours to do that feat, to get it all back together again. And then I found I was able to wiggle this new unit, wiggle the old unit out. I got a little bit of help from what are called sliders. These are ones that have sort of a a hard plastic surface on one side and a felt on the others. This type, which is still, they're both under both units right now. This one had longer sliders, which is now sitting under here, and that helped me move it into the laundry room. The only trick was getting over this threshold that I had made, but the threshold is needed for this door I designed to close off the laundry room when needed or when desired, which is like to cut down noise. When I first moved into this house in 2005, we decided to get this style of a washer-dryer, and what we found, we couldn't get it inside the laundry room because of some of the connections on this unit that was sticking out even more than this, maybe about the same as this. So what I did is I took the 30-inch swinging door frame and stripped it down to just more than the wall stud here, which adjoins here, and cut it open more so that it's not quite 36 inches, but it's pretty wide. And then I wanted to have some way to close it off, and so I designed this track, which is made from plastic lumber and little aluminum tracks that go, they're screwed actually inside this groove that I cut. I don't know how I did it. The groove I cut inside this piece of plastic lumber. So now the door slides real smoothly and it opens real widely. And as it pulls open, what it does, there's a piece of wood back there that picks up the second door and pulls it open. This is more information you need to have. And then when I close it, this piece of wood in the top pushes the other door back. So, pretty smooth little sliding door operation that I designed 20 years ago when I still had a brain. So anyway, the doorway is very wide, but this sticks out more than the older unit did 20 years ago. Then the water heater, what happened is it was exactly the same position as the other water heater was, but water heaters are made thicker. They're made fatter now because of the new insulation standards. So there's insulation built into it that makes it a fatter water heater that made this stick out enough extra thickness that I wasn't able to get the washer dryer in or out. It was a tight fit even so, even though I had 34 inches to deal with now instead of 30 inches. As I wiggled it past here, I could see it was almost scraping against these tubes, pipes, and wires that go up here. So it wasn't a lot of space, but it's no longer trapped in the laundry room, and hopefully it will never run into this situation again, that when the next washer dryer dies, it could be moved out of here without too much difficulty, and the new one moved in. This is one version of the sliders I used to help me move the laundry machine's felt on one side and this semi-hard foam with stuff on the other side. And this is where the bottom of the wash machine's indented and sort of held in place, but often came loose. And then doing a test run of the new laundry machine. The only thing I lost was a little bit of length of the hanging rack due to the new position of the drain waste vent. Bare copper pipes. So So I put this foam insulation on it, and I started off with some clear duct tape, which I thought looked pretty good, and then I ran out of it, so I continue with this all-weather white duct tape, which seems to hold pretty well. So the insulation goes all along the hot side and a foot or so along the cold side.